Hi everyone, Mike the MC, bringing you the self-care video. Today I'm going to share with you number 295 of the Catechism with respect to the powers that God has made you and I out of, His love and His will. But more importantly, how, looking at those two, everything else from beyond that point is beautiful creation that He's given us a part of that participation with in our own lives. The recreation of families, the birth of children, right? Helping even the world survive and be sustainable, right? Even for trying to survive all these catastrophic events, right? But the thing more importantly is that we are participating in that creation. And so I think there's something to be said about that as far as our cooperation. And are we willing to cooperate with God and accept the powers He's given us to make life continue on a little further? So let me share with you number 295 of the Catechism and see what it has to say. And it states the following. 295, the mystery of creation, God creates by wisdom and love. 295, we love that God created the world according to His wisdom. It is not the product of any necessity whatever, nor of blind fate or chance. We believe that it proceeds from God's free will. He wanted to make His creatures share in His being, wisdom, and goodness. For you created all things, and by your will they existed and were created. Therefore the psalmist exclaims, O Lord, how manifold are your works! In wisdom you have made them all, and the Lord is good to all, and His compassion is over all that He has made. And we look at that reading from the Catechism number 295, and one question you can ask, okay, but then what about ailments, injuries, deformities, right? All these things that are real. You could think of the hospital, the ambulance, right? All the seriousness with people and birth defects and all these other things. And you wonder, okay, Lord, if everything you wanted was made out of your love and wisdom, why do we have all these ailments? And I would argue it is when the presence of sin entered the world that really messed up a lot of things, where people are now, we're now bound to death, ailment, right? We no longer have that immortality here on this existence, this earth at this time. And I just think if we had not sinned with Adam and Eve biting the apple, perhaps so we would be in our immortal state right now, and we'd be in our glory. And some saints have talked about that as far as being in the perfect state, where, like, I believe St. Thomas Aquinas says we are in our prime when we're in heaven. And so if you think that context, okay, our prime will be rediscovered when we have faith. And I would argue even for all people, everybody will reclaim that prime state when they're in heaven. And you think about that. And so the people may think, oh, well, they were born with an injury, ailment, or they had injuries later in life. Maybe they're veterans, who knows, survivors. And you think, oh, will they ever find and experience their true self again? I truly believe the answer is yes. You will find your prime again. You will find your beauty, right? I would believe, right, you would be able to see without glasses. You would be able to have no more ailments, because the thing is, heaven is so beautiful, so perfect, because it is. It's our home. And you wonder even further, when we're in our prime, without injuries or ailments, it's got to be something wonderful and profound, something that we can predict or maybe think about in the future. And so while we wait for that time, why not consider the future that is bound to be, just to have faith and action to make sure that dream comes true, to believe, to follow God, to really believe in His work and redemption. And that is the thing about this channel, where working with everybody of all faith, just to remember that there is a creator of some, that there is that energy, the creation, the one who made everything. And so when we respect that beauty of everything that was made from the one source, but the one source is still around for all of us, and now you and I participate in it. Speaking to everybody on this planet, okay, we can participate, or we don't have to participate. The choice is yours. And so you think, okay, how am I going to live my life very fairly, according to the will of the one who's above above us, right? Or who's considering to always be there? And you think, okay, how am I going to respect the one who's there, but I don't see him? All right, so you ask yourself that kind of question. How can I respect creation if I don't feel like I'm being loved? The answer is you can give love in spite of the destruction you are dealing with. That is true love, in my opinion. We can all have a harsh set of cards that we were dealt with when we were born with. We didn't have the right family, the right childhood, the right college, whatever situation you can think of. But yet we can still love from our hardships. And that to me is the beauty of God transcending above all the pain in the world. And when you think, okay, beyond all pain, beyond all recollection that people could think about this existence, we can find peace and love in this world in reality when we truly believe in that goodness. And you and I can live a good life where we love other people, and we don't have to be evil. We don't have to be bullies. We can love other people and pray for bullies. We can even stand up to them. But at the end of the day, the one who changes hearts is the one who made all of us. And to have faith in him to inspire your heart to do what is beyond what you thought you can do, that is a motivation for you to say, hey, maybe I don't have to be so rigid on myself. I don't have to see the chaos. I don't have to feel so intense about how I feel in this moment. Maybe I can be happy and feel that love in this moment. What if I feel pain and sickness, right? The thing is, we can offer our pain for something great, for something good. And so from pain, we can find beautiful creation. And that is why you should not give up on anybody either, as far as when we run into somebody with an injury or an ailment. And so when you find love in people, love them for their beauty, and to never forget that you and I were made from love and wisdom, and that wisdom holds everything together from a creator. Things to consider. All right, everyone, hope this one finds you well with number 295 of the Catechism. Be strong and courageous. Always remember that from love and wisdom, we can see those qualities of God, and we can live out those qualities in this world, which has the pain, but we can go beyond the pain and love our neighbor as ourselves. It is beautiful. And so always remember that you and I can make a difference when we choose good instead of evil. All right, everyone. Hope this one finds you well with number 295. Take care. Have a good one.